What if I tell you that roofs can look very deceiving at the first glance? Now, if you do a simple home inspection, it can uncover any hidden issues that could save you tens of thousands of dollars. My name is Jessy. I am a real estate agent licensed in New York and Connecticut. Very active full-time agent. And in this video, well, first, I have an accepted offer. I'm in contract with a property in Connecticut, Bethel, Connecticut. Now, I am happy to share that we will be going through an inspection, a home inspection. But in this video, I'm going to focus specifically on the roof of a home. And now I have a special guest. His name is John Felix from Felix Inspection. Now, John Felix comes from an investigation background and extremely sharp. I mean, this guy can pick out things that, again, people don't see with the naked eye. And listen, buyer's agents, not trying to sell any buyer's agents or buyers, but if you're not in the New York area or the Connecticut area, and you're not using John Felix Inspection, you are losing thousands and thousands of dollars, especially with negotiation and so forth with his services. He is a very vital piece. I know there are tons of inspectors, home inspectors, but this specific home inspector, he is the real deal. I wouldn't say that with confidence if I didn't believe it. So yes, he will be going through the roof of the home. Now, he is going to go in detail. I'm in the background. He's going to be taking over this video.
The front slope of the house is not in the best condition. I would say right now that this has excessive wear.
Right.
Okay. Part of that excessive wear is due to granular loss. So the asphalt material comes with little rocks, I guess you could call it, and that's what kind of deflects the sun rays, thus making the material last longer. So we have a lot of excessive. That's why it looks so. If you look at some sections, it looks smooth. When you see the roof looking smooth without texture, that means the granular loss is there. Okay. If you look at the shadows on the tips of each shingle, you see there's a bit of a shadow, and some of those shadows look like it's cupping, or some of the corners. I'm gonna give you an example. So imagine that this is your shingle, right? One shingle overlaps another shingle when it's being placed. When it's exposed to excessive heat, the corners sometimes lift on the corners. Hi, Shannon. Hi. Okay, they lift, or they'll cup, meaning they'll go in this way. So that shadow that you're seeing is the shadow between this material right here resting on the other one.
Right.
What that causes now is more prone to wind damage, storms. So if these pieces are lifting, when it rains heavy, this is going to lift off, and then they'll rip off halfway. Okay, so that's what that will contribute to through time. In addition to that, it allows for moisture intrusion.
Right.
Okay. If we look at this side of the house, where we have heavy moss collection, look at the flashing material, meaning that black, those black pieces where your chimney is. Right. Okay, that's the flashing that goes underneath the chimney, the roof, and connects with the chimney. Okay. Now it's lifting. So what's happening, that's going to allow for water to get in between and underneath your shingle. Because the anatomy of the roof is you have a wood plank and then your roofing material. And then below that in the attic, you have your truss, your framing, that holds everything up. So now if this is lifting up and water's getting in between, it's going to start wetting the plywood underneath. Okay, and that's when you start seeing that some roofs kind of sink in, or they start swelling, right? Because what's holding it now is lifting. So what I'm going to recommend here is that we get this reflashed. I don't think that you're at the point now where this can be repaired. Okay. Unfortunately, I think we're too far in already. So I'm gonna recommend that you start factoring replacement within the next 1 to 3 years. Okay. Now, once we get inside, I'll look at your attic. If I don't see any signs of water intrusion, we'll lean more towards that 3-year mark.
Okay.
But please just don't neglect that.
No.
Okay. The other thing is also like you see all the twigs and debris on the edges. That's because of your gutter guards.
Right.
So that's fantastic.
Right.
I love that.
Okay.
But as the homeowner, get yourself a blower, a ladder, maybe a broom, and just keep that off of there.
Right.
So you can let the water actually flow in to the gutter and do its job in getting to the gutters.
Okay.
All right. Because you have solar panels on the other side of the slope, I'm going to naturally assume, it's a reasonable assumption for me, that the other side is either in the same condition or worse.
Okay.
Now here's why I say that. The solar panels trap heat underneath the panels.
Okay.
So if you have this debris falling here, I'm assuming you have it happening over there.
Right.
So that debris is probably collecting underneath the panels.
Okay.
All right. So when it's time, just know that you're going to have to factor in the logistics of having the panels removed.
Okay.
Do the roof to then put the solar panels back.
Right.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Lift up the drone, take a couple more views because I know the other side of the slope has solar panels.
Right.
And normally when the solar panels are installed, roofing companies typically like to make sure that the roof is in fairly great condition for it to happen. So by looking at this side of the slope, and I'm going to assume that the same condition that this is in is what's happening underneath the solar panels. It's just a reasonable assumption.
So there's nothing you can do to...
You can brush it off, but just be mindful when you're doing that. They sell calcium powder that you can put there to kind of release the moss. But the more you do, it depends who you ask. Right? Because the thing is, that material has granules, it erodes. When you start doing that, you're going to pull that off.
Right.
And that lessens the lifespan. So you're fixing one thing, but you're going to encounter another.
Right.
Okay. There we go. So remember these things. You see these black spots that you see on the roof there?
Oh yeah.
Right on the center. Okay. I'm going to talk to you about that. And I'm going to talk to you about some of these roofs. If you see, there's some areas where the material is lifting on the edges.
Right.
Okay. They're coming up. I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second and tell you why that is. In the garage, very similar to the rest of the property. So what we're looking at here on your rafters and your trusses, we have what we call OSB board. So if you zoom in or focus in on the roofing here, this is called OSB, which is a mixture of just woods that are comprised together, as opposed to like plywood. The material looks to be in really good condition. Attics are normally hot, but we do have adequate ventilation here to allow for proper airflow, which is what we want to see. This attic does have subfloor, so we can walk on it, which is fantastic. Has good lighting, so we can see what's going on. And we have what we call ridge vents, which allows airflow in between the ridges where the peaks meet. So I really like what I'm seeing here, in addition to the soffit vents that I'm seeing. So we're really good. Actually, I just caught something here, so I think that we have what could be a wasp nest.
Good on it.
So, yeah, let me go check it out.
Okay.
You probably can't see it from where you're at, but if you look at this patch of dirt here, let me give you some light. You look here, you look down here, you look down there, and I missed one up here. You can see the hive here.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, these are your wasp nests. All right, so what they do is they come in here because it's quiet, it's dark. They lay their eggs, they breed the family, and then they go about their business.
Got it.
Very typical of an attic.
Is it active?
They're not active right now.
Okay.
If not, trust me, we would know.
Yeah.
We would know right away, especially when we get close, because they're very territorial.
Okay.
But yeah.